Hello, all you scaredy cats and kittens, and welcome to the Two Scaredy Cats Podcast, where we talk about all things strange, unusual, and paranormal. We're your hostess with the mostest. I'm Stacy.
And I'm Kara.
So, Kara, it's finally glad to have you back with us. You haven't been with us in a while. And hello to all our listeners out there. Welcome to the latest episode of our podcast here today. So, Kara, what have you been up to since we've chatted last? And it's been quite a while since we've chatted.
Been doing we just have like a lot of life events going on right now that we're dealing with.
Yeah. Definitely.
The Five Nights at Freddy's movie came out.
Yeah, did you get to see it?
Yeah, we went and saw it. I went and seen it twice.
Was it good?
And I might be going to see it again. Well, I mean, in my opinion, it was good.
Mm-hmm. People
seem very decisive.
I was going to say, people are very opinionated about either they like it or they hate it, so I guess you're on camp-like.
I like it for what it is. It could be a lot worse. We've seen really bad video game adaptions before, that this one was actually fairly accurate and was made by the person who made the game.
Okay.
So, like, he was, like, a heavy role. I don't know. I'm not really sure where people don't like it. I could see why. It's a little campy.
A little cheesy.
A little cheesy in some parts.
Yeah.
But, like, the animatronics look so good. Just from, like...
Did they scare you? Like, you know, because you used to watch that when you were... Or play that game when you were little. So, did you find it as scary as it was when you watched it when you were younger?
I didn't think it was scary.
Okay.
I didn't really think
you didn't think it was scary at all? Because, like, when I was teaching... Like, all the kids, that's all they talked about was how scary Five Nights at Freddy's is, and, you know, how scary
the game is scary.
Uh-huh.
The game is scary.
Oh, but the movie's
it's
not?
Just watching it as a... I mean, I don't know how to describe it.
It doesn't reflect in the movie, like you're trying to say, like it does
I'm,
in the
like,
game.
cheering on the bad guys, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Just because in, like, certain parts where it's like, yeah, those guys kind of had it coming because they were being stupid.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's
like,
fair.
it doesn't really... I mean, I don't know. It's not like some horror movies will make you, like, scared, like, be in their place or, like, for the main character, but, like, it was like, man, I just want those people to die because they're kind of shitty.
Okay, well, that's cool. I mean, I've never seen it or even played the
game. Oh,
so
you should watch it. We're going to watch it.
We will when it comes out on video, yes. But
no, it's already on streaming if you have Peacock.
I don't have Peacock. Grandma did, but we got rid of it.
We'll just get Peacock again, and
then... we'll see. Anyway. So, what else did you do? You went out west, did you not? A couple weeks ago? Did you guys do anything cool while you were out west?
Oh, yeah, I was in Arizona.
Did you go hiking or
anything? We just went to the desert.
Nothing cool happened while you were in the desert?
I found something on the ground in the desert, but it was... I don't know if I would have picked it up. I didn't. But Mario told me not to. He's like, "Don't pick that up," and I said, "Okay."
But what was it?
I mean, it was like drugs on the ground.
Ew, yeah, God, you don't know what it could be laced with fentanyl, and it could easily.
Yeah, I know. That's why I didn't touch it. But it was just funny to see a bag of drug, like a drug on the ground like that.
Really, that's crazy. Yeah,
it was like a smokable drug. So I was just like, "Why is this on the ground?"
Well, you were in Phoenix, and that is, like, the drug capital of the world, basically.
But, like, that drug is legal. It's just, I just don't think I would pick up a random one that's on the ground.
No, I wouldn't. And for all you know, somebody could have done that on purpose, had it laced with fentanyl or something, and then they'll, like, traffic, you know what I mean? You could be
how would they traffic me in the desert? Is my question.
I
really think it just fell out of someone's pocket who was planning on going up and then smoking the thing that it was. That it's legal to do there. I'm guessing it fell out of someone's pocket. But I'm still not going to chance it. Because why would they do it? It was literally in the middle. Like, it was in a park. Like, we had to pay to go to this park. Why would you just do that in a paid park?
I don't know. People do stupid
And there's nowhere to run in the desert, Mom. There's nowhere to run. It's all open.
Well, and another thing is, if you don't have enough water or whatever, and you become really dehydrated, you could die. I mean, that's another thing to worry about, doing drugs in the desert. But hey, what do I know?
I mean,
anyway.
There's like other cactuses. You can eat those, and then you hallucinate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you don't
a certain kind peyote.
Yeah, but if you do the wrong one, you could kill yourself too. You know what I mean?
I'm just making
kind of like where people lick frogs because they're supposed to be magical and make you have a good trip, and then they lick the wrong one and they end up dead.
That the frogs are gay. That's what that one podcaster said.
Oh yeah, the ones that
the government. No, the government made the frogs gay by pouring something in their water.
Oh, okay. Who knew?
Yeah.
You learn all kinds of interesting things on the internet. Children, I know. Don't listen to the internet. It's usually wrong 99.9% of the time.
Well, yeah, I've been watching a lot of horror related to the internet. Like, stuff.
Oh, my God. I think I told you the story, but I just have to tell our listeners because it would totally creep me out. So, I was, going through the internet as one usually does. Anyway, the story came across my feed about this lady that felt a tickle in her ear, and she thought she had a bug in there, which, okay, so that happens every now and then. Like, it happens like a very low percentage. So anyway, she went to the ER to have it removed, whatever it was. And they get in there and they dig it out and they find out that she had a spider, a live, like moving spider in her ear. And it was like one of those stupid jumping ones. So, yeah, you should have heard her. She was like totally freaking out. I think I would have been too. And that would have been it for me because I just don't deal with things crawling and laying eggs in you at night while you're sleeping type thing. But yeah, I saw that story and I was like, ooh, I have to share that because that's just crazy.
That is crazy.
So anyway, this week, we're coming at you with a story about the lizard man of Lee County, South Carolina, and conspiracy theories around lizard people.
There's a lot.
Oh, there is a lot. In fact, this is going to be like a two-parter. Like, we're going to talk about some of this week, and then on our next podcast, we'll talk about, there's a particular person I'd like to dig a little deeper into that it is fascinating to me, so... But we'll get into all that when we get into the story here in a second. So, starting off, this is a cryptid, actually, from South Carolina. So, the lizard man is a reptilian cryptozoological creature said to inhabit swampland in and around Lee County, South Carolina. Human-like in form, the lizard man is said to have many reptilian or dinosaur-like qualities. So, the story goes that the lizard man first made his appearance on June 29th, 1988 at 2 a.m. 17-year-old Christopher Davis was changing a flat tire on his car near Scape Ore Swamp, which is outside of Bishopville in South Carolina, Lee County. So while fixing his tire, he was working on it, it was taking him a little bit of time to do it, he saw a very large creature walking around near the woods where he was. And then all of a sudden he saw this large, strange creature running at him from the field, like running at him full force. So he freaked out, obviously. I think I would be too if there's some strange creature running at me, full force. Because he didn't know what it was, because there could be, there are like big cats, like, cougars and stuff like that run around in the swamp. So, he thought maybe it was that. But it was walking on its hind legs. So he hurries up and he decides to jump in his car to kind of get away from it. So he tried to shut his door, but the creature grabbed the door and was like hanging onto the mirror on the side of his car. So this thing is hanging from the mirror, and he decides that the best way for him to escape with this creature, hanging from his car, is to hurry up and accelerate the car and then slamming on the brakes really hard so that it would hopefully throw the creature off his car and, save him in the car. So he decides to start doing this. Well, the creature swings from hanging onto the mirror on the side of his car, then proceeds to jump onto the roof of his car. And this thing is like hanging on for dear life as it's, hanging out on the top of his car. So as he starts accelerating, the creature starts to lose its grip, and it ends up falling off, and our friend Chris lived to tell another day. So when he finally got home after this whole incident, he decided to look at his car to see, if what had happened what he thought he saw had really happened. And when he looked at the roof of his car, he had these really long scratches all along the roof of the car. The mirror on his door where the creature had been hanging from was all twisted now also. So they ended up calling the police. They called the police, the sheriff, when he got home. His parents did, because he was still a teenager. And the sheriff's department came out and they, wrote a report about it or whatever. But that's that's all that happened with his story. But during this time in the summer of 1988 in this little town in South Carolina, there were many reports of this so-called lizard man. And another report that happened 2 weeks later, and the police were called to a scene of an act of vandalism on a car. And it wasn't too far away from the same area where Chris had his little incident, okay? And this car was not far from the swamp. And when the police found the car, the fenders had been ripped off. The antenna had been bent. And there were deep scratches all along the body of the car. And the chrome trim had been chewed off. Like, there were actual chew marks on the trim of the car. I mean, that is pretty messed up.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. So, all during that summer of 1988, there were about 4 or 5 more incidents where people called in about seeing, having their cars vandalized. And several people actually ended up seeing this so-called lizard creature. As I said, there were many reports in 1988 of this lizard man, and many of these eyewitnesses described this creature as a 7-foot tall creature that walked on its hind legs. It had glowing red eyes and green scaly skin. It only had 3 toes on each of its feet, and it only had 3 fingers on each of its hands. But every toe and every finger had 4-inch long black nails on it. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know that I'd want to come across a creature like that. It sounds very,
I don't know. It sounds kind of cool.
It might be. Except when it's running after you, trying to eat you or whatever it was going to do.
Are we sure it's trying to eat me?
Well, we don't know, but,
That's what if it wants to be my friend?
I seriously doubt a creature running at you at full force wants to be your friend. What do you think? You're going to have a tea party with it?
I don't know. We don't know yet.
We don't know, but okay. So, now we're getting into the conspiracy part of everybody and their little conspiracies about lizard people in general. So there are many conspiracy theories out there about shape-shifting, blood-sucking reptilian humanoids invading Earth to take control of the human race. Now, there are some people believe that this race of reptilian beings not only have already invaded Earth, but has also created a genetically modified lizard-human hybrid race called the Babylonian Brotherhood. Okay? There are said to be many famous people that belong to this Babylonian Brotherhood and are actual lizard people. And here are some of the more interesting ones that are on this list. We have Barack Obama, who was our president. We have Queen Elizabeth II, who was the ruler of England for many, many years. We have Alan Greenspan, who was the former Federal Reserve chairman, was in charge of all the money and interest rates and all that. And then on that list, which I thought was hysterical, like one of these is not like the other type thing, was Mick Jagger, the singer with the big lips.
What?
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, the other 3 make sense because they're, in these political roles and they have a lot of power. But then you got Mick Jagger on there. I'm like, that does not make sense at all. But that's what people are saying. So, this is crazy. I was like, what? So apparently there was a survey done in 2013. Now, I would imagine by today's standards, it would be much higher. But back in 2013, as many as 12 million Americans believed in the lizard people conspiracy. 12 million people. I'm like, what?
I could see why they would. They're kind of silly, goofy.
Yeah, I know, but it's kind of, I don't know, some of this is far-fetched.
Well, so, that's also, isn't lizard people in the, that one religion? Scientology? I'm pretty sure
no, I thought that was dinosaurs. No, I thought that was dinosaurs and frog eggs that made dinosaurs. That's what Jurassic Park was made off, I thought.
No. I'm talking about Scientology.
I know. That's what I'm talking about, too.
The church. They believe in lizard people.
Oh, do they? I didn't know that.
That's what I thought we were talking about. Lizard people. That they
we are talking about lizard people, but I didn't realize Scientology believed in that. I have to go look that up.
They worship lizard people. That's like their whole thing, but you have to get really deep in the church to learn that.
Okay, see, I did not know that. Well, you had that one friend, so did she ever say anything about that to you?
God, yeah, I forgot about that part where she was trying to get me to come to her fucking...
Yeah. Did she ever mention anything about the...
No, she just think that she was like, you're very open-minded, and I feel like you would appreciate this.
Yeah, she'll take you for $50 million to move up on the stupid thing. But yeah, so that was pretty crazy that many people believe in this lizard conspiracy theory. So the idea of reptilians was popularized by a man by the name of David Icke, who is a conspiracy theorist who claims that shape-shifting reptilian aliens control Earth by taking on human form and gaining political power to manipulate human societies. Icke has stated that he believes many world leaders are or are possessed by reptilians, which I thought was fascinating, and we're gonna be doing a deep dive next time into the gentleman by the name of this David Icke to see what's going on. But I thought that was interesting. And another interesting little tidbit I came across when I was researching all this was, do you remember the siege on the Capitol? I'm sure everybody remembers this because it's all that we're still talking about it today. Well, interestingly enough, there was a gentleman that was in charge, that was kind of high up on, the conspiracy theorists that were trying to take over the whole Capitol. His name was Anthony Quinn Warner. Apparently, this guy is one of these people that believes in this whole reptilian theory. And he had a pastime of going to some of the parks where he lived and hunting aliens in the park. Like, he would go in the park and, take pictures of, people and say that they were aliens and stuff, and then send them to his friends and tell them that he found these aliens in the park.
Dang.
Yeah, this guy's a little tutti-frutti. He also apparently killed his brother before he did the whole Capitol siege thing, because he thought his brother was a lizard person. So he killed him because he thought he was trying to take over the world. So I don't know how he got out of it. I don't know how he didn't get in trouble for that, or how he was able to be out and do everything that he did during the siege on the Capitol and all that stuff. But I just find this whole thing that people think that there's this whole lizard race out there, and there was a show out when I was little called V, okay, and it was very popular when I was little. It was all about these aliens that came to, at first they were acting like our friends, and we're gonna share, because the whole theory was that Earth is losing all of its resources, and they were gonna share their resources with us, and we were helping the aliens out. Well, and they looked like us, but as time went on, they started doing more shadier things. They were stealing all our water, and when you would get in a fight with them or something like that, part of their skin would peel away, and you'd see the lizards that would be underneath of them. So I find it interesting that they have all these shows and that people were talking about this way before it became this huge conspiracy.
Isn't it
theory.
That they believe that the lizard people pretend that they're humans, so they believe they people are lizard people?
Yes, and that's what I just was talking about. That's what I was talking about Queen Elizabeth and Barack Obama. They look for people that are in power roles, is what they say, and they swap them out with these half hybrid lizard human people things. I don't know. That I guess it could be true, but I don't know. I know. It's a little pretty far-fetched.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I think it's pretty crazy and far-fetched. I don't know. But the lizard man that I was talking about that had started all this was actually, like I said, from South Carolina. And they have a festival. We have to go check this out, Kara. They have a festival that they just started in the past few years. And they have a Comic-Con there, too, where they celebrate the lizard man and all his zany adventures and stuff and all that. They've turned them into this whole thing, kind of like the Mothman and, you know, all those different cryptids that we've talked about on the show before.
Yeah.
Or have you heard anything else related to anything out there? Strange, unusual?
Oh, you heard of the Backrooms? You know what that is? Have we talked about the Backrooms on the podcast?
I don't know. I think we might have one time, but I don't know.
Because it's kind of like a horror topic.
Remind me what it is. I don't think we have.
Well, it's just like, the Backrooms is this idea of, like, space that should be, like, full of people, but it's not. So it, like, gives you this, like, uncanny valley kind of experience where you're, like... It's like being in, like, an empty mall. Like, no one else is there, but it's clearly, it should not be in, like, a emptiness kind of a thing. But there's...
Oh, like, you're supposed to be there with people, but you're not. You're there
you're by yourself.
Like, just yourself.
Or people will, like, or it'll be, like, an endless hallway, and it doesn't make any sense. Like you should not be walking into this part of the building.
No, I've never talked about that.
You've never heard of that? It's like a new thing. No. It's like a new kind of horror genre right now.
Okay. Isn't that the same thing with the, like, elevator story that came out a couple years ago? Remember about that missing girl in that one hotel, and she kept looking around the hall, and she was, like, talking to somebody that wasn't there and all that? Or is it different than that, even?
Maybe similar? This is more of, like, the saying is there are places in the universe where you can no-clip into one of those backrooms areas, and you can't escape the backrooms. There's, like, a lot of...
so you're, like, stuck there by yourself.
You are trapped in these areas, and there's entities in there. I mean, it's, like, a whole...
That's spooky.
It's kind of like the Slender Man thing, where it was, like, made up on the internet, but then, like, you never know, because so many people talk about it. Right. But there's, like, really good video... Like, people have made movies about it.
Okay, now wait a minute. You just told me that you can't escape from there, so how can you possibly make a movie about it if you can't escape from there?
Well, you can't escape... Like, the movies aren't, it's based off of the idea of the horror of it.
Oh, okay,
This is like, but,
I got you now.
But Slender Man was a thing where people would make the story, and then, like, those girls went crazy because they thought it was so real that they, like, started killing people. You remember that whole story? Right. That was the thing? Yeah, but Backrooms is, like, the new thing right now, where everyone's talking about
Oh, really?
It, but one of these, this kid is 17, he made, like, a whole, like, film series. And it looks like you are... Like, it looks realistic, but he built the whole set in, like, online. I don't know. It's, like...
Really? Wow.
And it's all on YouTube. And then he just came out with a new one, but it's, like, an abandoned mall.
Oh, crazy.
And it's just, like... It's, like, probably one of the scariest things I've ever watched. Like... And it's free.
Really?
Yes, you should watch it. And, like, there's, like, a monster in it and a whole thing.
So what's it called? Backroom?
No, so, the original one, he has 2 different film series. One is The Backrooms... and then
the Backrooms.
Okay,
plural.
And then the second one he just came out was called The Oldest View.
The Mall?
The Oldest View.
Oldest View, okay.
It's... Okay. I mean, it's free, so you might as well watch it. But it brings up some really interesting things of why people would be scared of.
But isn't that the same as, like, Missing Time and all that? Like, remember we did the one story about the lady that was on the bus and... she, like, everybody on the bus just melted away, and it was only her and the weird, alien creature. Remember
it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, it's a lot of concepts we see in the stories we tell about, like, the spaces that you feel like you shouldn't be in there because they're not normal, or, like, time feels weird. But time does not,
yes.
In the back rooms, like, this is all just, like, lore people have made. But, you know, I don't know. You should look into it. But I think anyone should. You can literally just go, and the YouTuber is called Kane Pixels.
Is that Kane?
Yes, and then Pixels. Just make sure you're on the right one. And it does get confusing because some of the videos are out of order. So I would look up Backrooms videos in order, because you can find, like, it'll put it in order based on what people think. Obviously, we don't know the timeline. But they're, like, small films, but then there's, like, one that's, like, 20 minutes long. And the one in the mall, there's, like, a 40-minute, like, it's basically, like, a whole movie.
Huh. Okay, let's check that out.
But it's horror-related, and I think it might,
our listeners have to check it out, and tell us, if you guys do check it out, tell us what you think, or maybe we'll do a story about that.
They're actually making a movie, like, a big studio picked up that kid to make a movie for it, and it's coming out.
Wow.
Like, this kid's, like, 17. And you should.
That's
so
awesome.
when you're watching, if you watch the oldest view one, the entire mall he like 3D rendered and Blender, and none of it is actually real. Like it's all just he made it.
Really?
But it looks like
wow,
it's like it looks like he went to a abandoned mall and filmed it. It's crazy.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I have to check that out. Huh.
Right. Oh, do you have anything?
Well, there you go, people. No, I don't have no. I'm just going to go check out this.
Yeah, it's very horror adjacent, and I'm sure we'll start seeing stuff about it. It kind of reminds me of the stairs. Remember the stairs to nowhere? Like you would go up the stairs and it would take you somewhere else. It's essentially like that, where you can just happen to just walk somewhere and then suddenly you're in a different place.
Oh, that is crazy.
And then, but yeah.
Yeah. All right, everybody, you heard it here first. Go check it out.
Yeah, if you want something scary, the one video left me with nightmares. I haven't been that scared in a while.
So great. Maybe
the oldest view.
Just yet.
I mean, I would maybe watch it during the day.
Okay, and maybe I'll have to do that then. Yeah, with a blanket so I can cover my.
I know. Literally, half of it was me like covering my eyes because I was too scared to watch the video. He's very good at building dread, and the main character is pretty stupid. It's filmed like found footage style, so you have to be
neat.
Well, at least the one is, but yeah. Anyways.
Okay. Cool.
All right, guys. Well, if you enjoyed our podcast today, follow us on Instagram at Two Scaredy Cats Podcast, and please be sure to leave a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It really helps the show get discovered. And tune in 2 weeks for a new episode. And to all our scaredy cats and kittens out there, remember, curiosity didn't kill these two scaredy cats.